call you guys over to the principal's office last week? All right, let's talk a little ship, y'all. So on today's episode, we have quite a few stories to go over. One, there's more glass shattering on Royal Caribbean ships. We have an update on the water slide incident. We have a man walking off a pier at a private island. And we're going to talk a little bit about Carnival's change in itinerary. So let's get into it. If you guys are interested in that sort of thing, if you find value in the content that I bring, you guys love my opinions, please by all means subscribe. Help me get to, I was going to say 100,000. Help me get to 100,000 subscribers. Let's just go with that, okay? At any rate, on Thursday, August 14th, a man walked off of the pier at Perfect Day at Coco Cay and walked into the sea. Apparently, he was taking video footage or some camera footage of Royal Caribbean's newest ship, the Star of the Seas. Now, I can understand Royal is coming out with all these big, bright, beautiful ships. I get it. I can understand being a new content creator myself, that if you're in the cruise news industry, maybe you want to be one of the first people to, if not the first, to get to a cruise story. I also understand wanting to capture and have more access to B-roll that doesn't have a copyright on it. But sir, did you do all of this in the name of B-roll? I'm not saying he did. I'm not saying he did. I'm having fun. But he walked off the pier. Have you guys seen how long that pier is? I don't actually have B-roll of how long the pier is, nor do I have the footage, the footage of it or anything like that. How many yards, meters, inches, whatever the case may be. That's what I mean by footage. I don't have any of that either, but he walked off the pier. So how about we pay a little bit more attention to what we're doing, okay? Because whatever footage you did capture, I would imagine it got ruined once it hit the water. I hope it didn't. My understanding is Royal Caribbean, the Star of the Seas was docked that day. The Symphony of the Seas was in port that day as well. And they sounded the Oscar alarm. And a jet ski picked the guy up and brought him back to land. My understanding is he's okay. Pay attention, sir. But thanks for the news story. We have more glass breaking on Royal Caribbean ships. This one is the Symphony of the Seas. So a glass panel cracked over on the sports deck, which is over the where the glass panel broke. It's over the boardwalk area. The glass did not shatter and come out of the framing, but it did break. Thank God it did not shatter and come out of the framing, because below that deck is Royal Caribbean's boardwalk area. This is where the carousel ride is, and it's towards the aft, the back of the ship, where you have playmakers on some of those ships, and the Abyss dry slide. You have the Aqua Theater in the back of that ship. Those Oasis class ships. So anyway, if that glass would have shattered and fallen, it would have fallen on the boardwalk, in the boardwalk area, potentially hurting some people. This is the third time this year that the Symphony of the Seas has had problems with glass breaking on the ship. Back on July 29th, there was a glass panel that broke over the solarium in the solarium area of Symphony of the Seas. This is the adults area in the front of the ship. My understanding is there were some cruise passengers that were sitting underneath that, and they heard a pop. The glass did not shatter and fall on the passengers below. They were able to alert Royal Caribbean, and they were able to take care of it before that, incident would have transpired. Earlier this year, June 8th, Royal Caribbean also had, on the Symphony of the Seas, there was glass. This glass actually shattered and fell. This glass was the big glass window on the Symphony of the Seas Coastal Kitchen restaurant. That glass did in fact fall on the pool deck below, where passengers were sitting. A crew member saw and heard the glass breaking, and he ran down to the pool deck to alert the passengers to get them out of the way so the glass would not shatter on them. Please forgive me if I am about to butcher your name. I don't mean to, but his name is Nitin Kumar. He was credited with removing those passengers from harm's way from that glass breaking on Symphony of the Seas back in June. So that's 3 incidents. One on June 8th, one June 29th, one on August 10th. In addition to, those were all on Symphony of the Seas. Last week, we had acrylic glass breaking on Royal Caribbean's Icon of the Seas, the Frightening Boat water slide. My understanding is they have patched up the hole. I don't mean they fixed the hole. They just kind of closed that hole up on that slide. They've closed down the slide. Star of the Seas just launched. That slide also exists on the Star of the Seas ship. It is not open for operation on that ship either. And this should come as no surprise to anyone. But the gentleman who got injured while sliding through that slide, he has retained legal counsel and is in the process of suing Royal Caribbean. If you guys like this content, please give me a like, share, comment, and subscribe. On to the next story. So Carnival Mardi Gras has come out with news that they're going to start doing 4 and 5 day sailings in 2027. This is really exciting for me because typically this ship does 7-day sailings. It doesn't only do 7-day sailings, but it does do 7-day sailings. I've never been on the Mardi Gras of the Seas. As a matter of fact, it's part of Carnival's XL class. I've never been on any of Carnival's XL class ships, mainly because those ships do 7-day itineraries. And those itineraries, because they're 7-day, they tend to be a little bit more expensive. And those are newer ships. Those are Carnival's newer ships. So they're a little bit more expensive because they're newer ships. And because of the time constraints that I have, I can only sell those ships during peak seasons. So then you're paying a premium to sell those ships because of the peak season times that I'm available. So I'm very excited that they're offering 4 and 5 day sailings. I'm typically a 4-day cruiser because of the time constraints that I have. And once they start offering 4 and 5 day sailings, it'll be a lot more economically feasible for me to get on one of those ships. So thank you, Carnival, for doing that for us. Carnival, this may be Carnival's attempt at competing with Royal Caribbean, who, when they launched their newest Oasis class ship, which is the Utopia of the Seas, that ship is catering to the 3 and 4 day cruise market down to the Bahamas. Royal Caribbean is also going to be doing that with the Wonder of the Seas. If they haven't done so already, that is their second newest Oasis class ship. So I guess Carnival took the hint and was like, hey, let's get into this short day sailing cruise market down to the Bahamas. I think it might work because, like I said, I haven't been on one of the XL ships, on one of Carnival's XL ships, because they do offer those longer sailings, which are not budget friendly for me. And also there's a time constraint for me. So once they start offering the 4-day sailings, that'll make it a whole lot more appealing for me. Anyway, if you guys like this comment, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.